Hey, I hope everybody's having a good day, good morning, wherever you're at. I want to talk today about something I've been thinking about, and something that a couple of you all have brought to my attention and wanted me to discuss. Some of the things that need to remain the same in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Some of the things that I feel like are core to the story, are core to what makes that game from a story standpoint so very special to a lot of people. And there are probably 5 things that I made a list of 4 or 5. There's 5 things that I think need to remain constant from the original thematically. So one of the things I'm going to talk about in this video today is Cloud's psychosis, like Cloud's mental state, like his fracture when the big reveal happens and he loses his mind, and everything leading up to it, everything that comprises that, right? Now I know what all of you all are going to say. First thing you're going to say, "Oh, but Zack's alive. That's gonna totally kill that." No, that's not going to kill it, and I'm going to explain why. I think that will be possibly the catalyst for his break this time. It won't. Aerith is going to be lost, right? We will lose Aerith, but I feel like this time that's not going to be the thing that breaks Cloud, right? I think he will still have a point of contention with Aerith. Like he'll still succumb to Sephiroth and like either grab Aerith and throw her down, or because he's not gonna just like get on her and just start like punching on her like he did in the original. I don't think they'll do that in this game, but I think he'll do something like he pushes her down, or he like grabs her and throws her, or something like that. Something to where he feels like ashamed of himself, and like, or it could be anybody. It could be Tifa. I mean, he could do something to Tifa, and he could start. The way I think it's going to work is we're going to start seeing Cloud have questions, memory gaps, and it's going to start messing with him. Because if you remember in Midgar, he did have like some scenes where it would go and like fade in like a red overlay or whatever, and he holds his head and starts shaking his head or whatever. That was in Midgar. He didn't really start having operational problems though until they left Midgar, until Sephiroth was starting to become more prominent and more close to him. So I think in Game 2 we're going to start seeing that come out of Cloud, and that is pivotal. That is important. That is one of the things in Final Fantasy VII, the original, that really made you relate to Cloud, was his issues and his breaking point and having to come back from that, right? Tifa, that because that is important for Tifa's storyline. If it's not for that, then Tifa doesn't have a whole lot of importance, because she's the one that saves Cloud's life. Like Tifa's one of that's her true hero arc, is saving the hero of the game. Like if Tifa doesn't save the hero of the game, then he can't be the hero. If Aerith doesn't do what she does for the planet, then the planet can't live. If Barrett doesn't do what he does for Avalanche and keeping the group together, kind of being the father figure and holding that group together, they can't save the planet. You know, if Red 13 doesn't take them to Cosmo Canyon and use his power and his grandfather's knowledge to educate them about the planet, they can't succeed. Everybody ties together and has a role to play in the overarching story of the game. Yuffie, Vincent, Cid are extras, in my opinion. They play important parts, but I don't feel like they are pivotal to the core of the story. Except for, Cid Highwind taking him into space for the huge materia. All that kind of stuff. I'm talking about thematically what makes these characters core and what makes them important, and Cloud losing his mind and having to put himself back together and come back from that is so important. It is so key to what the game is. That has to remain. And they've teased it, right? They teased it in the first game with, Sephiroth coming to him in the hallucinations, and the way Cloud would be like, just staggering. You all know one of my favorite parts, and you all that watched me play through it a couple of times, one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake is in Chapter 2 when, he's walking down the street and then he's like struggling to walk, and like Midgar turns into Nibelheim, he's seeing it on fire, and then the part where they're in the drum in Hojo's lab, basically, and you start hearing Those Chosen by the Planet playing, and he's like struggling to walk toward the elevator to take them up to Genova. That may be top 3 parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake for myself, because it started to tease what that break is going to look like, right? It started to tease when he starts to break, what that's going to feel like, what that's going to look like, and it got me jazzed. It got me pumped for like seeing more of that. Game number 2 is going to be the downfall, Cloud's downfall. I think that's how game number 2 will and should end, is like you lose Cloud, right? And the reveal of Zack will have something to do with that. He's, because he has Zack's memories. He has Zack's feelings and memories from the experimentation. So it's going to create some kind of like fracture in Cloud. Seeing him and having to remember who this person is, and having his body will start to remember, the emotions and the memories and stuff with Zack, and it's going to cause. So if your brain's a computer and you see zeros and ones, a 2 is going to pop up and lock up the system. That's what's going to happen with Cloud. He is going to have a 2 pop up in a string of zeros and ones that's going to lock up the system. So I'm looking forward to that. That is one of the things that has to remain, that absolutely has to remain in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, whatever it's called. If it's called The First Soldier, if it's called Ever Crisis, if it's called Final Fantasy if it's called More Final Fantasy VII Part 2, whatever it's called, that has to be constant. And I feel like a great cliffhanger for game number 2 would be losing Cloud. Now, here's the issue, right? At the end of game number 2, I feel like you still have to lose Cloud when the weapons awaken, right? When the weapons awaken is when you lose Cloud. And Sephiroth summons the black materia, because I feel like that's still Sephiroth's goal. He wanted to get rid of the Whispers, but he still wants the black materia. He still wants to carry out his plan. He just wants to carry it out without the interference from the planet trying to keep things in line. So now he can do that, right? I feel like if you end game number 2 with Cloud losing his mind and falling into the planet, falling into the life stream, the weapons awakening, like if this is going to be a trilogy, right? Even if it's not, the second act of a lot of your most famous, greatest stories end in tragedy, right? What better way for game number 2 to end in tragedy than to lose Cloud? And I've said from the beginning, when you lose Cloud, who steps in to fill that role in the party? Zack. It's an easy explainer why Zack would have Cloud's moveset, Cloud's abilities and stuff, because essentially Cloud has them because of his experimentation. Zack, because of Zack. So Zack would know how to do those things too. You could plug Zack in, and then by the time you get Cloud, is how whatever happens, whether Zack dies again tragically, or he just leaves the party, or whatever, when you get Cloud back, and he's like, hey, you know what? He couldn't handle me being around last time for whatever reason. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna let you all do your thing. I'm gonna go back to Wu-Tai and do my avalanche stuff, whatever. I think that's how they might work that. Am I 100% right? No. I mean, none of us are right now. But none of us are wrong yet. None of us are right, but none of us are wrong yet. So that's the way I approach it, and it's fun for me. So, but let me know what you all think. I feel like Cloud losing his mind in game number 2, where this needs to go, seeing him completely confident, like in this shot right here, completely confident, chest out. I'm soldier first class, you know, you ain't got nothing on me, to just completely broken and shaking and not being able to get words out, and his brain just not working, and Tifa having to basically enter his mind or his soul, or however you want to envision that scene, when they're, you know, when she's trying to speak to him and get him through. That scene will be incredible. When we finally see the real Cloud in game number 3. We finally see the real Cloud, the Cloud that slayed Sephiroth, the Cloud that, you know, is a hero at heart and wants to be the best hero, and is a little bit lame, you know. He's not a cool guy. He's super lame, you know, but he's a hero who does hero stuff. And when we finally get that Cloud, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So let me know what you all think about that. That's one of the things I think need to remain constant in Final Fantasy VII Remake, consistent with the OG Final Fantasy VII, while they play around and do different things and take us on a different journey. I'm looking forward to all those aspects. But let me know what you all think in the comments below, and I appreciate your all support. If you like that video, throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everything you all do, all the love you all show me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaufman20XX. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a great day. Keep rocking. Can't stress that enough. Keep rocking. It's going to be a good week, you all. Hopefully it's a good week for all of you all individually. Wherever you are in the world, have a good one. Be good out there. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time.